but it's a 2-point lead. Let's calm down and be happy with that. Yeah. Okay, let's continue in the same way. See if he's learned his lesson. This obviously speaks volume of my dearth of ideas in the opening against Anish. C6, however, that's pretty similar to what I tried to do against Alireza in the last St. Louis Rapid and Blitz in the F3 Nimzo. So how about what happens if I go A5 now? There's only one way to find out. So the real question is whether he can play bishop a6. But once I take on b6, he does find himself in a bit of an unpleasant pin. So I was hoping that was going to be a serious factor. So I'll take it. And then I'll go bishop d3. Let's see what he has in store. Most natural would... Is it that simple? Is it really that simple? That would be a bummer. Yeah, probably is that simple. You can go dc4 now, but I'm pretty happy with that. I go bishop c2, I sack the pawn, I go e4, e5, and at least in the blitz game, that looks like excellent practical compensation. But now I cannot sacrifice the pawn anymore, because the exchange of bishops would pretty much extinguish all my attacking potential. So now I gotta take the game more along positional lines. Yeah, I don't want to exchange on d5 unless I can go c4 later on. So we'll try and keep the tension. c5 is obviously a decent option now. I think maybe then I'll go bishop b2. And then he cannot win a pawn by cd4, dc4, because I go knight c4 if bishop c4, there's rook a8, and then I take back and I have some structural advantage. So I'm sort of hoping for the same as happened in the last Nimzo game that we played, that this bishop on b2 is going to be a very strong piece at some point. It's not opposed by an opponent bishop, and it's pretty easy to imagine a scenario where everything gets opened. Okay, so queen c7, that was missed, but I don't know if it's any good. I go knight d6, no? Yeah, I think just knight d6 is a pretty good move. Because if bishop d3, I take on e8, and I think he just loses a whole exchange. And if he takes on d6, I just, should I change first? I guess probably not. But basically, regardless, I have 2 bishops against 2 knights, and I should have a comfortable positional advantage. I don't think he has any tricks based on b5, bishop b5, and queen b6 after he's taken on cd4, cd4, because his knight on d7 can be captured, and I remain a full pawn to the good. So I think I'm just considerably better here from a positional point of view. Yeah, we'll just go back. Take on a1 with the queen. Yeah, that's why I took with the bishop on a6, because I didn't want to give him the file for free. And he can go e5 at any point. But the problem is that his problems are not really solved by that. Whenever he captures, now that he has got a5, I probably will take on a8 though. Because I feel that now the position is more open, the a file doesn't matter as much. h5, I think, is just weakening. I go h3 to prevent knight g4 from happening. And if h4 happens at any point, I feel after things clear up in the center, that will probably be more of a weakness than a strength. So I believe I'm just much better here. Yeah, cd4, cd4. He exchanges everything, which means that there's not a ton of material at the board, left on the board, but I just have such a big positional advantage that I believe it's well, it's not decisive, but it's not actually that far from decisive. Rook a2. This was missed. There is no doubt about that. This was just missed. But I'm not majorly worried. My position is just too solid for him to really bother me. You cannot move either knight to e4 because I'll take an f6 or c5 with mating threats. And this also looks very suspicious. Bishop c5 followed by rook d8. Also bishop c3 and then rook d8. Probably that's even better. I'll give a check. Then I'll go queen b5. He has no checks. Only move is king f8. Now bishop c6 is winning. Rook e8 followed by bishop g7 should be winning. Yeah, bishop c6 is just the easiest, I believe. Yeah, no need to complicate it. Okay, he resigns. That was pretty good, I gotta say. Queen c7. Well, the whole plan of dc4, queen c7 was clearly flawed. In that he missed knight d6, but I think overall a fairly good game.